I don't think you can actually overstate the importance of military intelligence. And I mean that. And what I say by that is over the course of the 20th century, the United States has really learned the importance of understanding the context of a war. And has really gained an understanding of how the world operates.
As the United States approaches the decision to enter the war in Vietnam, the U.S. Army begins helping to collect intelligence information on the North Vietnamese. The Army will soon learn that it is about to engage in an entirely new type of warfare that no longer has clear enemy lines and battlefields. Vietnam is a war where intelligence gathering will need to adapt in order to locate an enemy that is difficult to find in a dense jungle environment.
The United States had individual soldiers deployed to Vietnam as early as the late 1950s, serving as advisors to the South Vietnamese Army.
You had the Special Forces advisors, 5th Special Forces out of Okinawa, and you also had the MACSOG people who were more than just advisors. They were actually going out and gathering intelligence on the Ho Chi Minh Trail, the infiltration into South Vietnam by North Vietnamese and the support that was going to the Viet Cong.
When the role of the U.S. military changed from advisory to combat in 1965, the demands on the Army's intelligence resources increased exponentially. Army Security Agency assets expanded, and large military intelligence units were deployed to support the influx of combat troops in-country. In order to fill in gaps in American intelligence expertise, such as a shortage of Vietnamese linguists, the Army installs a system of combined intelligence, working collaboratively with the South Vietnamese.
General McChristian, who's the MAC VJ2, thinks that's the only way we can work, by working together. And he's going to establish a set of centers, intelligence centers, one for working on documents, one for working on material exploitation, one for working on interrogation, and then one for just analysis.
Special Forces provide an unconventional source of ground intelligence. SF soldiers provide long-range reconnaissance patrols, conduct intelligence operations through their contacts with local tribes, and support covert operations, such as cross-border operations into enemy territory, to disrupt his use of the Ho Chi Minh Trail. After the creation of an intelligence branch in 1962, the United States is able to attach trained MI branch officers to special operations groups. These officers are setting up extremely remote intercept stations deep in the jungle with the assistance of Montagnards. One of those officers is First Lieutenant George Ken Sisler.
He's operating with the 5th Special Forces Group as a platoon leader and advisor to the South Vietnamese Exploitation Force. And they're on deep patrol in the jungle trying to locate the Viet Cong.
On February 7, 1967, Lieutenant Sisler's platoon is ambushed, and many of the South Vietnamese he is with are killed. In an act of unparalleled bravery, Lieutenant Sisler runs directly into enemy fire in an attempt to silence enemy guns and to pull wounded soldiers to safety, and in the process, sacrifices his own life.
Sisler is the only military intelligence branch officer who has received the Medal of Honor, the nation's highest award for valor.
Lessons learned by integrating intelligence soldiers into special forces groups in Vietnam are still being applied to this day. MI soldiers are increasingly an intrinsic part of special operations. Similarly, the critical need for accurate and reliable intelligence has only gained in importance.
The intelligence networks have been tremendously important in providing the information that allows American policymakers to make decisions and to make far more informed decisions than they were ever able to make in previous conflicts. I think the more informed our policymakers are, then I think the better decisions they will actually make about how U.S. foreign policy should be enacted in the future.
It's important that we never forget our history. You know, the quote's been attributed to numerous people, but those who fail to remember history are doomed to repeat it.